So this week there has been a lot of information and news about Office of the President and Office of the Deputy President overspending the budget they were allocated. This has become a norm. Ni kama imekuwa kitu ya kawaida nowadays that the office of some of the senior political leaders or some of the country's leaders, their offices end up overspending the budget yenye wanapewa. Now, hii budget is still the same kind of budget that ilikuwa allocated during the 2024 2025 and the 2025-2026 financial year budget. If the State House of Kenya, where the president and the first lady usually stay, we know kuna activities mobs na happen. Tulisikia a lot of things around State House could spend over 4 million shillings on mandazis na chai. And I actually congratulate this particular legislator. I can't really recall alikuwa anaitwa nani, but there's a legislator who has actually filed a petition in court seeking to bar any political gatherings in State House. And why am I actually pro the petition? One, all these meetings ni for the benefit of few. Benefit of William Ruto, benefit of Kithure Kindiki, benefit of some of the allies, at the cost of you and I, at the cost of every ordinary mwananchi. You wake up in the morning, unaenda job, unapata pesa yako kidogo, you strive to make your life better, but State House ends up spending 43 million shillings. Let me know. Now, the worst part or the thing that imeniuma sana is this post right here. So this post basically said that State House and Kithure Kindiki's office have actually spent over 7 billion shillings in just 6 months. 7 billion shillings in just 6 months. That's over 1.1 billion shillings. Over 1.1 billion shillings a month. And all this, it's so that one or two people actually live a better life. There's a reason as to why a budget is set for a country. Now, tell me why different offices hawatataka kuiba. Tell me why certain ministries hawataona a loophole ya kuiba. If their leaders, head of the cabinet, who is the president, the deputy of the head of the cabinet, who is the vice president, and any other top leadership in cabinet, mbona wasiibe pesa ya their relevant ministries or their relevant departments if the president and the deputy president wana lead in kuiba pesa? And as if that is not enough, there's also another thing nilikuwa nimecheki na these things just keep on pissing me off every day vile naziona. Now, the other story ilikuwa around MPs trying to ban TikTok. So, two arguments. Argument number one, there's an MP who was arguing that India actually wameban TikTok in their country. Is that true? Yes. But India has their own reasons as to why wanna ban TikTok. For the longest time now, India and Russia and China, they have been in competition in terms of who gets to understand the demographic ya ule mwingine way better. And as we all know, India iliban, or if you're currently knowing this or getting to know about this information saizi, India iliban TikTok simply because they cited national security issues. And what do they mean by national security issues? TikTok for the longest time imekuwa ikijulikana as this platform that collects user data. If you don't know and you use TikTok, every keystroke that you key in on your phone, TikTok is able to capture that information and study your keystroke patterns. Yeah. So that demographic information, date of birth, online activities, that including your political biasness and so on, is always captured and stored and used to train AI models and so on. Now, India banned TikTok and some other 28 apps, if I'm not wrong, simply because after careful evaluation, walikam to realize that TikTok is actually collecting information about their citizens, about their top leadership, about their military activities, and this can easily be exploited by their adversaries their foes. Yeah. Now, for a Kenyan MP to bring this motion to the table, it's not something new around East Africa. Tumeona TZ waliban social media and actually wakafunga the whole internet when they were having their own elections, and he led a lot of issues within the country. We saw the kind of riot and protests that happened in Tanzania. During Uganda's election, that was this year, January the 15th, they had elections, things happened, internet was shut down. Those who believe that the president won, believe it. Those who believe the elections were rigged, believe it. But we all saw what happened. Yeah. Now, fast forward to Kuje Kenya. An MP has actually brought forward a motion to try and ban TikTok and other social media platforms, actually. And I thank any politician, any MP mwenye alikuwa in the same building, the same parliamentary building, who opposed the bill itself. And there's an MP who actually said, let me see if I can get it. It's actually Millie Odhiambo who said, let's listen to what Millie Odhiambo had to say about the whole banning thing.
It is bringing very many challenging issues. For those of us who are born, who are now in our 50s and 40s, we have a totally different culture from the younger people. So when we speak about African culture, their culture is technological culture. For the younger people, their culture is technological, it's not African. And how do we then as a house deal with the issue that technology has brought to our doorsteps? How do we nurture and bring up our children within systems where other people, there's somebody in the US who is raising up your child through technology. And that is why we must be very brave as a house and confront some of the good things that it brings, but also deal, and we must deal very fast because technology changes very fast. And I'm glad that this person has raised, I know Bob Dolo, I'm glad that he's raised the issue of TikTok because a lot of the younger people are actually on TikTok. Madam Speaker, some of the good things that we have from TikTok.
Okay, wait. Bringing the notion on the table, there's a problem nimekuwa nikiona for some time. We have a lot of pedophiles, we have a lot of child predators on social media, specifically TikTok, whereby unapata msee amepost ama mtu amepost picha ya mtoto wake, mzee amepost picha ya mtoto wake wakicheza. The kid is pretty, the kid is beautiful, yes, and then you see just a normal sane human being apparently commenting hapo chini, aka ni karembo sana, kaikuwa kakubwa, katatesa wanaume, katafanya nini na nini, katakuja sijui some of these things that naona on social media, I'm always like, do you even think before you comment on certain things? So this notion and this direction that Millie Odhiambo is taking is definitely a plus, and I don't have a problem with that. But if we are actually going to sit down na tuanze kujiuliza, what do we need to do to safeguard the internet as it is? Not just TikTok, the internet as it is, because the generation yenye tuko nayo in Kenya right now is a generation that is learning so fast, is a generation that is adapting to technology at an alarming rate. So with the emergence of new technology from gadgets, platforms, fast internet, actually, we really need regulations or tools that will help us secure the internet for minors and for the elderly too, because if AI gets better, it's good for so many people, but also at the same time, it's bad for the elderly. And I always say, hey, mimi naona nikizeeka, AI definitely, I might be conned. AI is getting really good, and by the time we hit 70s and 80s, just imagine mali itakuwa. But anyway, let's listen to what Millie had to say.
TikTok is young people are able to socialize. Of course, it takes away, FaceTime that we had some of us playing bladder, playing all manner of things. And these children no longer do that a lot because They are all in social media. They are all in TikTok. Madam Speaker, it also has provided employment for quite a number of Kenyans. For a long time, I didn't understand, and I'm very happy I was sharing it elsewhere, that have actually contributed a lot to employment, because I am caricatured a lot on on TikTok. And before I understood actually how it operated, I would call people and say, I just want to thank you very much because you have really promoted me. They said, Millie, they are making money off you. So when I saw that, I said, it's okay. Let them caricature me and make money out of me through TikTok. So it's a good thing, especially now that we have the issue of unemployment.
Well, are people making money out of TikTok? Yes and no. I'll start with the no. People are not making money out of TikTok because TikTok has not actually monetized advertisements on TikTok, right? People are making money out of TikTok by receiving gifts, receiving tips, getting brand endorsements, and so on and so forth. So if the government can actually move a step further and say, have an engagement in a TikTok, the same way they did with Meta, sit down with Meta, sorry, not Meta, but sit down with ByteDance. ByteDance is the company, the parent company that owns TikTok Global. So sit down with ByteDance, talk to them about some of the safety features you'd want in the application. Sit down with them, discuss about how people are going to make money out of the platform. And by so doing, also have, I believe, the cyber crimes unit under DCI and probably even NIS. They have people who monitor these things. Yeah, I believe we need to have stricter laws. If you start commenting crazy things about a minor, we diliwa tu na wewe kivyako. I mean, it's disgusting some of the things people say to minors on social media. But yeah, that's what was happening in parliament on the matter concerning TikTok. Do I believe that they should actually ban TikTok? No. Do I believe there should be some regulations around TikTok? Yes. Not just TikTok actually, social media. Yes, I believe there should be deep-rooted regulations around that. Do I believe we should regulate AI? Yes and no. Yes, we should regulate AI in terms of safeguarding the elderly and safeguarding the children. But no, also, as we also need to have a free space for creativity. AI is giving a lot of people jobs. We have seen clips of the president, picha yake imechukuliwa and then someone just prompts the AI inafanya the president ana dance. The same thing about the president wa Tanzania, Samia Suluhu. We have seen videos zake akidance and they're AI generated. So TikTok is not going anywhere. And if this government wants to have the full attention of the Kenyan youth focused on them, mjaribu mguze TikTok. Yes, you guys will see things you have never seen in this country. You know, the finance bill will just turn out to be a shadow. We have seen protests erupting left, right, and center. The Mimi ni Sifuna movement or Sisi ni Sifuna movement. Now, combining that with a generation that you have actually cut out their source of entertainment, I'm not sure that MP knows what he's currently playing with. And on to other news, the HELB of Kenya, the HELB organization in Kenya, has actually not disbursed some money out of the kind of funding they are supposed to issue to university students. And something caught my attention on X. So Willy Oeba alitweet akasema, HELB loans should not accrue any interests. I do agree with that, 100%. If, for example, you issue me with a loan as a government, I do expect the loan to accrue some interest up to the point whereby I leave school, and then the interest stops. And this interest should be way, 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 way low, like inafaa kukuwa huko chini. Now, he went ahead and said, what do you mean someone has 500,000 shillings in outstanding loans? So many graduates in Kenya, saizi, as we speak, so many graduates in Kenya hawawezi pata a job that makes them earn 500,000 shillings a year. 500,000 shillings a year. So, if someone has an outstanding loan of 500,000 shillings, this means that this person will spend years and years and years and years paying the loan. And remember, the current loan that HELB inapeana inakuja na accruing interest. So every month that you don't pay, interest in accrue. So if someone ametoka shule, we know the current job market ya Kenya. Mtu ametoka shule, hana job, hana pesa, hana mbele wala nyuma. You come and start selling smoky mayai, doing this, doing that. You're expected to pay for your medical cover. SHA, we'll talk about that later. You're expected to pay for your NSSF funding. You're expected to pay for housing. You're expected to pay a tax to the government and eventually expected to pay your bills. Wananchi wa kawaida will do one thing. They'll prioritize their bills and meals over any kind of tax in the country. HELB kando, pay kando, SHA kando, NSSF kando, housing kando. How will such a person ever be able to pay this loan? By the time anapata job, probably hata ni 5 years later. 5 years later, your loan imeaccrue. It's almost double because akitoka chuo ilikuwa 500,000. He or she spent 4 years, 5 years, 2 years, depending on the kind of course you're doing and the level of certification you are currently studying on. How will such a person be able to pay their loan? And he went ahead akaendelea akisema, instead of the money helping the students, it's plunging comrades deep into generational curses. MPs had a chance to change this, but they shot the bill down in 2021. Erect pro-people MPs. These MPs will inflate the budget ya State House. Remember tumesema State House spends 43 million shillings. They will easily pass an inflated budget or a supplementary budget for State House to operate for mandazis and chais and all that and political meetings. They will supply a lot of money to the office of the Deputy President. They will supply a lot of money to themselves to get allowances, buy guzzlers, get housing allowances, and so on. They will refuse to have extra taxes charged on their payslip. They'll refuse to spend even a single shilling of their own in catering for their own needs. They will want the government to start catering for the needs of themselves. Kulikuwa na story hadi some MPs wanataka kuleta their side chicks. You remember your story kitambo? Wanataka kuleta their side chicks into all these allowances and government plan ya kuwa reimburse ama ya kuwa finance in terms of housing, medical and education. Remember that story? Bado iko hapo. So as you sit down saizi to complain, tufanye nini na nini, I'm a registered voter. I have currently confirmed that my vote or my registration is still in existence. What have you done? Vote yako iko wapi? Unafanya nini? Why have you not checked and why have you not switched your location? Ulikuwa na vote ya Ushago, now you're in Nairobi. Go change your vote. Watu wa Githurai have complained. There is that whole story ya Githurai people wakibomolewa na Kenha and so on and so forth. I had another mama wa soko akisema hata mtubomolee mtufanyie nini, tutarudisha na ni one term. And then someone replied in a video ya 2022 when Ruto alishinda and then Githurai 45, the entire highway was impassable. Aungepita. People rejoicing, wakifurahia, akawaambia, mnakumbuka vile mlifurahia, mnakumbuka vile mlipiga shangwe na nderemo, mkapiga sherehe, mkasema nini na nini when he was voted in as the president. Keep the spirit up. Yeah, keep the spirit up. And I support him. Keep the spirit up. One mistake that people never know is, or people end up forgetting, is that once you elect a president, unless he or she is taken out of office the legal way, you only have 5 years to wait and suffer in silence, in pain, in whichever situation you want to await the 5 years in. Same case, usipo change kitu saizi, usipochukua kura, usipofanya sensitization pande yako, You are the only one to blame. But on to other news. The other thing that ilikuwa ina happen was, let's see. Oh, Israel. Israel is actually planning to come to Kenya. And there's a video I'll show you. But before we read the video, let's read a statement from the government of Israel about the video. So the government of Israel in Kenya wrote this tweet. This isn't just about farming. It's about communities growing stronger and together. We began as an investment in the Solai what began as an investment in Solai has grown into something bigger. Jobs for families, skills shared, and now opportunities taking root. Though modern agriculture and innovation communities are not only growing food, they are also building futures. We work with Kenyans for Kenyans, creating impact and changing lives. Watch the video below how innovation, jobs, partnerships, and Solai are creating real impact and transforming lives. Pause. Before you even go and watch the video, someone said one thing. The government of Israel is unable to make peace with the people around it. Yeah, we know Israel-Palestine, the war that imekuwa ikiendelea. We know Israel and other neighbors. So if Israel is unable to make peace with people who have similar or close to a similar religious belief and political belief, what makes them so sure, or what makes Kenyans so sure that Israelis or Israelis in Kenya will actually follow suit? Ask yourself that question. Now let's watch the video that ilikuwa inaendelea.
View of Lex.
Sorry, let's just minimize that and watch it from here.
It is not just a piece of dream, and a view of Lex Solai and the quiet place. It is also a place where we dream to bring from Israel, where we based from, where we came from, 15 years ago to Kenya. We want to bring the dream of a community between Israeli teenager and Kenyan teenager. So in Israel we have a school that's called Land and Earth, and we want to open here another branch of the school for Kenyan people. So we want that the Kenyan people will come to visit Israel, and Israeli will come to visit here. So we will create a community of knowledge, information, and friends between Israel country and Kenya country. It is not just a piece of dream.
When the Kenyans go and visit Israel and the Israelis visit Kenya, there's a clip I saw somewhere, ama ni a post on X, someone akiuliza, why is it that all of a sudden we are seeing all these international representatives of different international societies or communities visiting Kenya, recording videos and posting it? We saw Shiksha akiwa na the German ambassador. We also saw the Israelis waki-invite Kenyans to Israel to spend time there, mostly influencers. We have seen different diplomatic representatives in Kenya waki-record videos, wakienda kibanda, wakipanda matatu, wakifanya nini na nini na wananchi. Kenya is a strategic place. Kenya is strategically positioned to host and accommodate so much. Anyone who is based in Kenya, or anybody that will be based in Kenya, will have access to the ocean. We will basically be based at a centrally strategic position in Africa, whereby it's easy for you, it's almost half a distance for you to go to North Africa, South Africa. Yeah? Kenya is peaceful. English in Kenya is relatively understood. English in Kenya is relatively known by so many people. So communication will not be a problem. Now, when you want to recruit people, you always start by, will they understand what I'm trying to tell them? Will my communication to them be straightforward, clear? Will I be able to assimilate what I know, what I want them to believe into their culture? So history ya Israeli. Personally, I don't think there's a problem na wao wakipatiwa a place ya kufahamu na kufanya vitu zao for diplomatic purposes. Remember, diplomacy is very important. But if the government wants Israelis to come and settle in Kenya, I also believe Israel should be open to the same plan for Kenyans trying to settle in Israel. But will that happen? No. Why won't it happen? Israelis don't really think we offer much, as opposed to them thinking that we owe them a lot. I don't think if that makes sense to you. But look at it that way. We are not important to them, and they always feel like we owe them something, from the biblical times to now. Now, as I wind up and conclude this story yote, I saw a certain poster, na hii poster ilinimaliza. I was like, I don't think we understand how much we have lost as a country until you look back and realize how much we have lost as a country. Now, this is what I mean. Someone compiled all the scandals that have actually happened under the Ruto government. And, well, this thing I can say, yeah, ilinishtua. Now, let's break this down. So, in 2026, okay, let me see if I can be able to focus on this. So the title for this poster is Billions Lost and to Corruption under President Ruto's presidency. So 2026, 11 billion was lost from SHA, whereby it was siphoned through facilities and fictitious surgeries, fake claims, and ghost patients. Duale may claim, oh, we have this crazy system, no one can hack the systems. Our systems are very robust, airtight, nothing can, but we lost 11 billion. That's still one scandal. Second scandal, 44.8 billion e-citizen scandal. The Auditor General reported that they cannot find 44.8 billion Kenya shillings. Higher. 12.99 billion was lost to Ketraco. Ketraco, as we all know, deals with Storia, electricity, and the electric infrastructure in Kenya. Yeah. SHA, again, 10 billion, 10.8 billion. NSSF, 16 billion. Edible oil, 16.5 billion. Fertilizer, 3.5 billion. KEMSA, 3.7 billion. And NYS, 791 million. Finally, ofisi ya none other than Badi, the treasury, lost 62 billion. Wait a minute. How does the treasury end up losing 62 billion shillings? What does the treasury need for it to lose 62 billion shillings? And if you really think easy pesa mob, I'll give you a simple assignment. Just take your calculator, divide 11 billion, okay? Or a simple calculation, if you are to consume 5 million shillings daily, let's assume you're living the most extravagant life out there, 5 million Kenya shillings daily. Do the calculations and see how long it will take for you to actually consume 1 billion shillings. The treasury has lost 62 of that. SHA has lost 21 of that. And a citizen has lost 44 of that. We have lost over 120 billion Kenya shillings to corruption, to scandals, and to fraudulent claims. Well, that's it for you. That's Kenya. Ino maisha yenye tunaishi. Hauna kura, unateta, wewe ndiye Sifuna. But ask yourself, if saizi una feel life iko hivi and this guy has not even announced his candidacy for 2027, haja unleash his campaign beast. So what happens when the campaign starts? Muliana do wenye Oscar Sudi alipost, a whole room imejaa pesa, stacks and stacks of thousands of shillings. Hiyo ni pesa mnakuja kumwagiwa, hiyo ni pesa mnakuja kupewa. William Ruto has enough money to buy you all out. But now what stands between him being president and this country flourishing is you, your vote, and your ethics. Nothing else. Na sisemi ukipewa pesa ukatae. Eat the money. Remember, this is money stolen from you. This is money. All this is money stolen from you. Take the money. Cooler. But make a wise decision. Well, that's it for now. Until next time. Tuseme nini? Adios.